Hey everyone, so here's a Jeep tech tip for the 2024 Jeep Wrangler Willys Sport Edition JL. This is something I would highly recommend everyone doing. And then I'm going to show you and then we're going to explain. So give me a second. So these things sit pretty low to the ground right out of factory. So the 24 Willys that I have here comes with the 33-inch tires with a 1-inch suspension lift, and everything underneath this thing is a Rubicon, which they call the Rubicon Light. Then you have your sport models, not too much the Gladiators, they're a little bit higher, but there is things under here that will get damaged if you're off-roading, even if it's light trails. So I'm going to show you here real quick and then show you what I did. So on all the new JLs and the TJs, at least for the 24 and 25 that I know of, earlier years maybe so, they're not like the JKs where you had a full skid plate protecting the trans pan and all that. These things are different. As you can see, I got a skid plate I'm going to show you guys. There's just a cross member that goes straight to the other side to the frame, and then if you can see right in there from this portion going back, and that's all it is to protect that transmission and the lower pipe. I have an aftermarket trans pan. I went with the PPE. But before I got the skid plate, which I'm going to show you which one I got and chose to do and why, I did hit it on some rocks, going down some creek runs. I mean, you don't want to damage this. Especially if you're keeping your JL or your TJ. Again, the TJs are a little bit higher. This is worth the investment. So let me get this turned around. Now, I've tried a few other skid plates on here. I couldn't get them to fit correctly, especially if anyone's got these Willys editions. All underneath this thing is all Rubicon. The Rubicon is suspension. That's why they call them the Rubicon Light. But I chose to go with the skid plate by ASFIR. I don't know how to pronounce that. There's a lot of people have it. So I'm going to show you this real quick. It's a 1/4-inch steel. Well, it ain't steel. Take that back. It's 1/4-inch thick aluminum skid plate. Lightweight. You could do it yourself in your driveway. Good advice is jack up the frame, because I'm going to show you here real quick. It's actually a genius way what they did. But I'm going to start from the back. Excuse me for the shakiness. Mounts to the back. As you can see, it actually mounts up right here. They got bolts with low washers. It actually just blends right in. Gives you some airflow right here, so your exhaust and your trans pan is protected. And then it's got a little hole here. That's not a little. It's actually right there. That's the drain, so you can drain your oil pan. So all this is protected. Now, the brackets that they have on here is actually a genius. And I'm going to try to get from the front here so I could show you. But I got to cut these off. There's little brackets that they have. Let me just get a little better. They actually, you bend to get up inside of the rail where you attach the brackets, then attach them to the skid plate. And this thing's so light you could do it yourself in your driveway, just like I said. And upside down I am. So it actually attaches on the bracket. There's actually a slot right here in the frame. And that what actually does is it's a little pain in the butt. I would say use 2 hands on this part. Leave everything loose. Anyways, it slides up in the frame. You put your bolt and washer. Leave these loose right here, you'll see. And then let me get this, see if I can get the other one. And then there's the other bracket right there. It's out of the way. It's not going to hit the control arms. So yeah, let me get it from underneath here. That's a little bit from the front. Yeah. Like I said, they have other skid plates that are on the market. I did try a few of them. Brackets weren't lining up. We found this. The instructions that comes with it, not so the best, but they do have some good videos. If you go to the website, follow it step by step, you'll be happy I did. If you care about your Jeep Wrangler, this is the #1 thing. Before bigger tires, before lift kits, get some undercarriage protection. If you've seen the other videos I've had on the JK, I had underneath, we had skid plates underneath there, but they were still skid plates, and you could feel the weight difference. These are aluminum. I don't have a lift kit other than what's stocked on this, and like again, they say this is the Rubicon light. It's one step before the Rubicon. Comes with all the Rubicon suspension and coils and everything, so you automatically get a 1-inch. But go check these guys out. It was just like under 500 bucks, oil pan, transmission skid plate. And so hopefully that helps, and everyone have a good one.